Are you in debt again? Debt collectors are ringing off the hook, and the only thing in the fridge is a box of expired mayonnaise. Think entering the arena against a wild beast is your lucky ticket, and an easy way to make a killing on gladiatorial bets. Did you think it would be like in the movies? A couple of graceful dodges, a spectacular punch to the jaw, and you're already picking up a check with 6 zeros. I'll disappoint you. Nature doesn't issue loans or restructure debts. The only tax you'll pay here is your own blood. Right now, there's a creature standing outside that door who doesn't care about your credit rating. It only smells your fear and your cheap cologne. You have exactly 60 seconds. If you survive, you'll be rich. If not, well, at least your debts will be wiped clean due to your death. Let's start the countdown before you completely shit your pants. Are you ready to see what the real interest rate on your mistakes looks like? Titanium fist. Can you survive 60 seconds in a cage with an enraged gorilla? Imagine you find yourself in a confined space, say 10 by 10 meters. The walls are concrete, there's no escape. Opposite you stands a male mountain gorilla, weighing about 200 kilograms. This isn't the gentle giant you see in cartoons. He's a mountain of muscle, covered in coarse fur, whose strength is 6 to 10 times greater than that of a human. Your goal isn't to win. Your goal is simply to survive 60 seconds. A minute seems like a moment, but in this cage, it feels like an eternity, where every heartbeat sounds like a death knell. To understand your chances, let's consider what exactly you're up against. A gorilla isn't a boxer. He has no technique, but he doesn't need it. An adult male has a bite force of about 1,300 psi pounds per square inch. For comparison, a lion's sty is around 650, and a great white shark's is around 625. A single bite from a gorilla can easily crush the femur of an adult man, turning it to dust. But teeth are only half the battle. A gorilla's main weapon is its arms. A male's arm span can reach to 0.5 meters. With one arm, he can lift up to 800 kilograms. This means that if he simply grabs you by the shoulder and yanks, your joint will fly out, along with the flesh and tendons. So, the first 10 seconds, the gorilla most likely won't charge right away. It will begin with a show of strength. This is your only chance of not dying in the first instance. It will begin beating its chest, a drum beat you can feel on your skin, letting out a deafening roar and fainting. At this point, your instinct screams, run. But there's nowhere to run. If you turn your back, you're dead. In the primate world, running away is a sign of prey. As soon as you show your back, he'll catch you into leaps and slam both fists into your spine. A gorilla's fighting style is a crushing onslaught. They grab, bite, and tear. If you try to hit him back, it'll be like trying to punch a furry brick wall. His skull is so thick that it can withstand punches from other gorillas, and his neck muscles are so powerful that your best hook to the jaw won't even register. 20 seconds have passed. Let's say you didn't provoke him right away. Standing with your eyes downcast, direct gaze is a challenge to a duel. But if a gorilla is enraged, he'll still attack. He closes in on all fours with incredible speed. As he closes the distance, he rears up on his hind legs to appear even larger. At that moment, you realize the scale of the disaster. His chest is twice as wide as yours. 30 seconds. If he grabs you, that's the beginning of the end. Gorillas often use the grab and pull tactic. He might grab your leg and simply start dragging you across the floor. At that speed and with that much force, your skin will start to split from the friction against the concrete, and your bones will break on the ledges. If you end up underneath him, he'll start slamming you into the ground. One downward blow from his fist is equivalent to a 20-kilogram sledgehammer. Your ribs will collapse, puncturing your lungs. What are your real chances? If you're an ordinary person without a weapon, they're close to zero. Your only strategy is to curl up into a ball, cover your head with your hands, and hope he thinks you're defeated and loses interest. But in a frenzy, a male can continue to torment his enemy long after he's stopped breathing. 45 seconds. You're covered in blood, breathing hard, adrenaline flooding your eyes. If you're still alive, it's only because the gorilla is just playing or warning you. If he wanted to kill you instantly, he would have simply bitten off your face or torn off your scalp in the first 5 seconds. 55 seconds. The second hand moves slowly, as if in thick syrup. You hear his heavy, hot breath. The scent of a wild animal, sweat, and danger fills your lungs. Only 5 seconds left. One last throw, one last blow that could be fatal. Can you survive this minute? Perhaps, if you're incredibly lucky and masterfully feign death. But the price of this minute is broken limbs and injuries that will stay with you for the rest of your life. The gorilla is the embodiment of pure, primal power, against which human civilization is powerless in a fair fight. Do you think after such an ordeal, the kangaroo will seem like a piece of cake to you? Let's move on. Deadly kickboxing. Why a kangaroo's hind legs turn your innards to mush in a split second. If you think a kangaroo is just a cute little jumper from an Australian tour commercial, you're making the most fatal mistake of your life. Imagine a 200-pound professional kickboxer who's never heard of fair play, with steel springs 4 feet and 4-inch bone daggers on his toes. Your minute against the big red kangaroo starts right now. And trust me, it's going to be the dirtiest fight you've ever been in. First 5 seconds. The kangaroo stands on its hind legs, towering over you. It can be up to 2 meters tall. It doesn't roar like a lion or bellow like a bear. It makes a strange hissing sound and coughs a signal that it's ready to get you. The first thing he does is grab you. The kangaroo uses his front legs, which look deceptively short, but are actually very muscular. As grabbers, he'll grab you by the shoulders or neck, pulling you toward him. His goal is to immobilize your upper body, so you can't escape the main gun. 15 seconds. Once he's secured the grip, the nightmare begins. The kangaroo transfers all his weight to his powerful tail. His tail is essentially a fifth limb, made of solid muscle and tendons. Using it as leverage, he lifts both hind legs off the ground and delivers a double kick straight to your stomach. Imagine the force of the blow, capable of launching the animal 10 feet into the air, directed at your soft abs. But it's not just the strength. His fourth toe ends in a massive, razor-sharp claw. With one such movement, the kangaroo literally rips open his opponent's abdominal cavity like a tin can. 30 seconds. If you manage to pull back and the first punch lands just a glancing blow, don't relax. The kangaroo is incredibly fast. He'll repeat this series of punches over and over again. Your attempts to box him are pointless. The kangaroo has incredibly thick skin and a thick layer of muscle on his chest, and his head is too high and constantly moving. Your punches are like the bites of an annoying fly to him, but his jabs with his front paws are more than just pushes. He'll try to claw your eyes out with his sharp fingernails. 45 seconds. Your breathing is ragged. Adrenaline is pounding your heart. The kangaroo never tires. His metabolism and leg structure allow him to jump for hours, and a series of 10 punches is just a light warm-up. If you fall to the ground, the fight won't end. He'll simply start jumping on top of you, using his weight and claws to finish off his victim. Your best chance of survival in this situation is to try to brace yourself and protect your vital organs. But with such force, internal bleeding is almost inevitable. 55 seconds. The second hand has stopped. You try to close the distance, but the kangaroo is on you in a single leap. Its tactics are exhaustion and laceration. Even if you escape this cage in 60 seconds, you'll likely need immediate assistance from a trauma surgeon to literally put you back together. This animal is the perfect killing machine, created by the harsh Australian environment. It knows no mercy. It doesn't feel pain the way you do, and it's better armed than any street fighter. The minute is ticking. You're still alive, but you know, one well-placed kick and your story would be over forever. But what if your opponent is 10 times smaller, but 100 times more cunning and faster? Let's move on. Red lightning. A common fox versus a human who would really be trapped in a confined space. You might chuckle. A fox, Seriously, that 13 to 20 pound furry lump that steals chickens and looks like something out of a fairy tale. But when the door slams behind you, and you're left alone with it in a cramped room, the laughter quickly turns to a cold sweat. You're up against not just any beast, but a concentration of speed, teeth, and unpredictability. If you think you'll just grab it by the scruff and throw it out, you're seriously underestimating what a wild animal is capable of when cornered. Your time is up. The first 5 seconds. The fox won't attack first. It will press itself to the floor, turning into a red smear, and begin scurrying around the perimeter. Its reaction speed is several times faster than a human's. You try to catch her, but she slips between your legs, jumps up onto the walls, and performs incredible somersaults. Your hands clutch at the air, and here begins the psychological trap. You relax, thinking she's just a frightened animal. 15 seconds. Mistake. The fox realizes there's no escape and goes into active defense mode. She doesn't bite like a dog, she bites once and holds. She works like a sewing machine. The fox lunges, inflicting a series of deep lacerations, and instantly recoils. Her teeth are thin and sharp as needles. In a confined space, she will target the most vulnerable spots within her reach. Your ankles, Achilles tendons, and hands. 30 seconds. You can already feel the burning sensation. Your jeans are torn. Blood is running down your legs. The fox moves so fast that your vision can't follow her trajectory. You try to kick her, but she dodges the blow before your foot even leaves the floor. Every miss is another opportunity for her to sink her teeth into your flesh. Now add to that the sound. Foxes can produce eerie, almost human-like screams and a piercing bark that, in a confined space, is deafening and paralyzing. 45 seconds. The main danger from a fox is not the size of the wounds, but their number and consequences. A fox's jaws are incredibly tenacious for their size. If she grabs your palm, it will be extremely difficult to pry her teeth apart, while she frantically twists her head, literally tearing out chunks of flesh. But there's also a hidden danger. In the wild, foxes are the main carriers of rabies. Even if she simply scratches you, that minute could be the start of a fatal countdown if you don't have access to a vaccine. 55 seconds. You're breathing heavily. Your hands are bloodied, but this tiny creature is still full of energy. It's not tired. It's fallen into a battle trance. You realize it's nearly impossible to kill it with your bare hands. It's too agile. You simply wait for this time to pass, hoping it doesn't decide to jump right at your face and tear into your throat or nose. The minute is up. You leave the room. You're alive, but your confidence is shattered. You lost to a creature 5 times smaller than you simply because it lives to survive every day. And you don't. You look at your bitten hands and realize, size doesn't matter when it comes to fury and speed. But what if the next opponent weighs 3 tons and moves through the water faster? Then you can run on land? Moving on. Underwater nightmare. Your chances of surviving a minute if a hippopotamus thinks you've entered its territory. Forget those pink hippos from cartoons. You're facing Africa's most dangerous mammal, responsible for more deaths than lions and leopards combined. Imagine this. You're waist deep in water, and 20 meters away, two tiny nostrils and a pair of tiny ears rise from the murky surface. It's a 3-ton tank of flesh and fury. Your minute has begun, and these will be the longest 60 seconds, in which physics and biology work against you. The first 10 seconds. Do you think you're safe in the water if you know how to swim? You're profoundly mistaken. A hippopotamus doesn't swim in the traditional sense. It runs along the bottom. Its dense body allows it to move underwater at speeds of up to 8 kilometers per hour. That's faster than an Olympic swimming champion. The first few seconds are a moment of realization. The water around you begins to churn. The hippopotamus gives no warning. It simply disappears underwater, and you lose sight of it. Now you don't know where the blow will come from. 20 seconds. The water explodes 5 meters away. The hippopotamus bursts to the surface, opening its mouth 150 degrees. It's a paralyzing sight. A pink gape big enough to swallow a full-grown human. And teeth. Its lower canines are bony sabers up to 50 centimeters long. They're not designed for chewing grass, they're designed to pierce the flesh of their enemies. A hippopotamus's bite force is approximately 1800 psi. That's enough to snap a 3-meter crocodile in half or crush a boat like a tin can. 30 seconds. It lunges. In shallow water, a hippopotamus can reach speeds of up to 30 kilometers per hour. Your attempts to escape through knee-deep mud look pathetic. If it catches up with you, it won't eat you, it's a vegetarian. It will destroy you. The hippopotamus's primary tactic is to crush or impale you. Its enormous head, weighing several hundred kilograms, acts like a battering ram. If it hits you with its forehead, your internal organs will simply burst from the water hammer. 45 seconds. If you miraculously dodge the first lunge, you're caught in the striking range of its jaws. One sideways movement of its head and its fang pierces your thigh or ribcage. Blood spreads instantly in the water, obscuring your vision. The hippopotamus is incredibly maneuverable for its size. It will circle around, creating waves that knock you off your feet. Once you're underwater, it simply stomps on you. 3 tons of weight on one leg and your pelvis turns to bone crumbs. 55 seconds. Only 5 seconds left. You're fighting for every breath, and the beast is right in front of you. Its small eyes are bloodshot. It sees you not as food, but as a trespasser who must be wiped off the face of the earth. Your salvation is only a miracle, or if the shore is just a few steps away. Where there's a steep slope this colossus can't easily climb. The minute is up. If you're still breathing, then you've either encountered the laziest hippopotamus in history, or you're a master of dodging flying trucks. Confronting a hippopotamus in its element is like trying to stop an avalanche with your bare hands. This creature knows no compromise. Either you're gone, or you're gone. But what if your opponent is 100 times smaller, but possesses a willpower that would make even lions cower? Let's move on. Clawed Demon. Why a 15-kilogram Wolverine will make you beg for mercy in just 10 seconds. Forget everything you've seen in superhero comics. A real Wolverine is a ball of fury, encased in impenetrable hide, with the metabolism of a nuclear reactor. Imagine you're locked in a 5x5 meter enclosure with a creature that looks like a cross between a small bear and a badger. It weighs no more than your pet dog, but in the wild, this dog single-handedly drives off packs of wolves from prey and engages in combat with grizzlies. Your minute has begun, and it will be the most aggressive minute of your life. The first 5 seconds. Wolverine doesn't waste time growling or threatening. As soon as it realizes there's nowhere to go, it goes into total destruction mode. She lunges at you not like a dog, but like a chainsaw. Her tactics are constant movement. She doesn't aim for one spot. She attacks everything at once. Your shins, your hands, your thighs. Her claws are powerful, curved hooks, designed for climbing trees and tearing through frozen flesh. They leave deep, jagged grooves in your skin in a split second. 15 seconds. You try to push her away or kick her, but then her greatest superpower emerges: anatomical indestructibility. The Wolverine has an incredibly thick, loose hide. If you grab her by the scruff of the neck, she will literally twist inside her own skin and bite your wrist. Her jaws are designed with the back molars angled inward at a 90-degree angle. They are natural bone scissors. One bite and your knuckles crunch like dry twigs. 30 seconds. The confined space fills with a distinctive, pungent odor. Wolverines are called skunk bears for a reason. They have anal glands, the secretions from which assail your olfactory senses, causing nausea and stinging eyes. At this point, you're disoriented, but she's not. She uses your slowness to climb higher. Wolverines can easily leap onto your chest or back, claws digging into clothing and flesh. Her target is your face and neck. 45 seconds. You feel yourself starting to give in. Wolverines never tire. Their heart beats like crazy, supplying their muscles with oxygen for the endless fight. They let out a guttural, chilling growl. Once they've got a hold, they won't let go. She'll tear you apart, thrashing her head around, widening the wound. Even if you weigh 100 kilograms, Her fury overwhelms you psychologically. You're fighting a creature that has no instinct for self-preservation in combat. 55 seconds. The second hand is ticking toward the finish line. You're covered in small, but extremely painful, bleeding wounds. Your clothes are in tatters. Wolverine prepares for the final attack. She sees you weakened, and her attacks become even more daring. Your only hope is that time will run out before she reaches a major artery. The minute is up. The door opens, and you stumble out, shaking with shock. You survived, but now you know. It's better to meet a bear in the forest than this little fury. The bear might get away, but the Wolverine never will. She's living proof that pure, unfiltered aggression can make up for any lack of weight. But are you ready to meet someone whose jaw works like an industrial hydraulic press, capable of crushing rocks? Let's move on. Jaw press. Can you dodge a spotted hyena's charge if it's aiming for your shin? Forget the stereotype of a cowardly scavenger who only knows how to laugh obnoxiously. Before you stands one of Africa's most efficient and resilient predators. The spotted hyena packs 70 to 80 kilograms of pure muscle, concentrated in its forelimb, and jaws that make lions glance nervously around. Your minute in the enclosure with this beast begins with a heavy, assessing gaze from its yellow eyes. The first 10 seconds. The hyena doesn't charge head-on like a shepherd. It's assessing your agility. It begins circling, emitting that famous laughter, which is actually a signal of extreme excitement and aggression. You try to keep an eye on her turning, but notice a strange feature. Her shoulder girdle is much higher than her croup. This gives her incredible stability and striking power. If she decides to attack, her low center of gravity will make you practically powerless to knock her down or push her away. 20 seconds. First lunge. Hyenas are masters of surgical bites. She won't go for the throat, she has to reach it first. Her target is your limbs. She makes a lightning-fast lunge for your shin. The bite force of a spotted hyena is approximately 1100 psi. For comparison, this is almost twice as powerful as a lion's. Her teeth are adapted to crushing the bones of zebras and wildebeest. If she closes her jaws on your leg, you will hear not just a crunch, but the sound of drywood splintering. A tibia is like a candy cane to her. 30 seconds. If you manage to pull your leg back, the hyena instantly regroups. Unlike cats, which run out of steam after a short sprint, the hyena is a marathon runner. It can pursue prey for kilometers, and a minute is just a light warm-up for it. It will wear you down with constant fights. Every time you swing for a strike, it jumps back to a safe distance, and the moment you return to a standing position, it closes the distance again. 45 seconds. Fatigue is starting to take its toll. You're breathing heavily, and the hyena has only become more eager. Its bite and move tactic turns your body into a sieve. In a confined space, you can't keep it at bay forever. If it knocks you to the ground, the fight is over in 5 seconds. Hyenas begin feeding on their prey while it's still alive, and they don't care about your agony. They'll simply tear chunks of flesh from your thigh or stomach, using their powerful neck and jaws as leverage. 55 seconds. The second hand has stopped at the finish line. You stand with your back pressed against the wall, drenched in sweat and blood. The hyena stands opposite, licking its bloody jowls. It senses your fear and your weakness. It prepares for the final throw, which is destined to knock you off your feet. You understand that only a miracle or the steel door that's about to open can save you. The minute is ticking. You're alive, but that laughter will haunt you in nightmares for the rest of your days. You've realized the most important thing. A hyena isn't a scavenger. It's a hydraulic press on 4 legs, tireless and merciless. Against such power, human bones are like fragile porcelain. But what if your opponent has no pores, makes no sound, and plans to simply squeeze every last drop of oxygen out of you? Let's move on. A living spring. Your chances of surviving when a 10-meter reticulated python begins to close its claws on your ribs. Forget those movie scenes where the hero dramatically struggles with a snake coiled around his neck. In reality, everything happens quieter, faster, and far more terrifying. Imagine You're in a room with a reticulated python. It weighs about 50 kilograms, a solid cord of white muscle, boneless except for a flexible spine and ribs. It has no venom, but it doesn't need it. Your minute has begun, and the first thing you'll feel isn't the bite, but a complete loss of control. The first 10 seconds, the python doesn't attack from afar. It closes the distance smoothly, almost imperceptibly. The snake senses your body heat with its thermal sensors on its snout. As soon as you're within range, it fires. A python's throwing speed is about 44 meters per second. Before you can even blink, its mouth, studded with hundreds of backward curving hook-like teeth, will sink into your shoulder or forearm. A python's bite isn't a wound, it's an anchor. The teeth are there only to keep you from escaping while it casts its claws over you. 20 seconds. Once the hold is secured, the snake instantly locks onto you. This isn't a simple coiling motion, it's the work of a living hydraulic clamp. The python casts its coils over your ribcage and pelvis. At this point, your task is to prevent it from closing the coil around your neck and, more importantly, to prevent it from cutting off your breath. The reticulated python's grip is so strong that it can feel your heartbeat. Every time you exhale, the snake tightens the noose a little more, taking advantage of the vacated space. It's the no-return valve strategy. You can exhale, but you can't take a full breath. 30 seconds. Panic is your worst enemy. You try to pry the coils apart with your hands, but it's like trying to bend a steel crowbar with your bare palms. The python's muscles work isometrically, they don't tire like yours. Pounding its body will only provoke even more intense compression. Your ribs begin to groan under the strain. The pressure on your chest cuts off blood flow to your heart and brain. You start seeing spots before your eyes, and your limbs go numb. 45 seconds. Your minute is almost up, but time is stretching. The python has already completely wrapped itself around your torso. Your only hope is to reach its head. The snake's teeth are still deep in your flesh, and if you try to pull them out, they'll simply slice through your muscles like fishhooks. You need to find the tail or the tip of its snout to try to twist your jaw or press on your eyes, but your arms are pinned to your body. You feel your pulse pounding in your temples, and your lungs are burning from lack of oxygen. 55 seconds. The second hand stops. You hear only the rustling of your clothes and the heavy hiss of the snake right next to your ear. Its skin is cold and smooth, but beneath it lies a power capable of breaking the bones of large deer. You realize that if this minute turned into 2, your internal organs would begin to fail from ischemia. The python is the perfect strangler, taking its time. It simply waits for your struggle to stop. The minute ends. You are pulled from this deadly embrace. You're alive, but your chest will ache for weeks to come, and the ring-shaped bruises will remind you of how little it takes for nature to stop your breathing. You've realized that against a python, your strength is useless. What's needed is cunning and anatomical knowledge, which the average spectator simply doesn't have at the moment of the throw. But what if your next opponent is 100 kilograms of fury, hurtling toward you down a narrow corridor at the speed of a car? Let's move on. A fanged ram. What happens if a wild boar rushes towards you in a narrow corridor? Imagine a narrow concrete corridor, 2 meters wide and 10 meters long. Behind you is a dead end, and ahead is him. A full-grown boar weighing 150 kilograms. This is no domestic pig, but an armored bundle of muscle, fury, and primal strength. He has no neck in the traditional sense. His head blends smoothly into a powerful scruff, and the skin on his shoulder blades is so tough it's called tall. It can withstand a knife strike and even a spent bullet. Your minute has begun, and it will be a collision with a living locomotive. The first 5 seconds. The boar doesn't hesitate. Unlike predators, who can wait, a wild boar is an adept at preemptive aggression. He sees you as a threat and decides to eliminate you by the shortest route. He lowers his head, presenting his main assets, his lower fangs. A boar's fangs are razor sharp, constantly sharpened by his upper teeth with every movement of his jaw. In the narrow corridor, His stomping sounds like a machine gun. He accelerates to 40 kilometers per hour in a matter of seconds. 15 seconds. First contact. In such a tight space, you have no room to maneuver like a bullfighter. If you remain still, a blow from the boar's forehead to your stomach or groin will be the equivalent of a sledgehammer. At full gallop, your pelvic bones will simply shatter. But the boar doesn't simply push. His tactic is called undercutting. At the moment of impact, he jerks his head sharply upward and sideways. His fangs act like ripper-like tools. With one such movement, he severs the femoral artery of a grown man without even noticing resistance. 30 seconds. Let's say you manage to jump or somehow manage to press yourself against the wall. And he flew past. But the corridor is short. The boar instantly turns on the spot, using his short, incredibly strong legs as footholds. His hooves strike sparks from the concrete. He attacks again. Now he's angrier. Foam flies from his mouth. His eyes are bloodshot. He begins to chew the air. That characteristic snapping sound of his teeth means he's ready to kill. 45 seconds. You try to hit him in the snout or eyes, but it's almost useless. His head is solid bone, covered in a layer of fat and stiff bristles. Your fist is more likely to break than to harm him. If you fall, that's the end. The boar will begin trampling you with his sharp hooves and tearing at everything in his reach. With his tusks, he's not interested in your flesh. His goal is to turn you into a motionless pile of rags. In the confined space, it scents a mixture of rotting leaves, musk, and urine clogs your nostrils, making it hard to breathe. 55 seconds. Only 5 seconds left. You're pinned against the wall, your legs shaking with tension. The boar prepares for the final charge. You realize that a human against such mass and speed is a mere frail barrier. If not for the steel door about to open, this battering ram would have finished the job. The minute is ticking. You rush out of the hallway, hearing a heavy body crash into the closing door behind you. You survived, but now you know. A boar isn't food, it's a forest tank. Unstoppable and merciless. One precise strike from its fang, and medicine will be powerless. But what if your next enemy doesn't run at you, but simply delivers a single, precise kick that leaves an extra hole in you? Let's move on. Feathered death. How a cassowary turns a man into a sieve with its dagger claws faster than you can scream. Forget everything you knew about birds. This isn't an ostrich, let alone a chicken. This is a cassowary, a living relic straight from the Mesozoic era, weighing 60 kilograms and almost as tall as you. Imagine, you're in a dense enclosure, simulating a jungle. A creature with a jet black body, a bright red neck, and a horned helmet emerges from the undergrowth. Its gaze is cold, reptilian. Your minute has begun, and this will be the fastest and bloodiest fight on your list. First 10 seconds. The cassowary doesn't bite. This is the biggest mistake beginners make. Its weapon is at knee level. Look at its paws. 3 powerful toes. The middle one tipped with a straight, dagger-sharp 12-centimeter long claw. The cassowary is a master of leaping. It can leap 1.52 meters straight into the air from a standing start. It doesn't run at you, it gauges the distance by emitting a low-frequency rumble that you feel more in your viscera than in your ears. 20 seconds. The first lunge. It happens instantly. The cassowary leaps forward sharply, simultaneously thrusting both paws forward, like a professional Muay Thai fighter. Its claws work like harpoons. The force of the strike is such that it can pierce a rib cage or rip open a stomach with a single downward swing. If you try to block with your hands, the claw will cut through your forearm like butter, crushing bones and tearing tendons. 30 seconds. You try to retreat, but the cassowary is incredibly maneuverable in the undergrowth. It uses its horny helmet casque to smash through branches or ram you in the chest, knocking you out of breath. If you fall, it's almost certain death. The bird will begin dancing on you, delivering a series of quick, stabbing blows with its claws. The cassowary doesn't eat large quantities of meat, it's defending its territory. It doesn't need to kill you to eat you, it needs you to stop moving. 45 seconds. Your clothes are soaked in blood. The wounds from the cassowary's claws are jagged and deep. This animal has no concept of fear of humans. The Guinness Book of World Records officially recognizes it as the most dangerous bird on the planet. You understand that any attempt to grab its neck is futile. It's too muscular and agile, and its claws are always ready to strike back. Your only chance is to find some kind of shield or barrier to hide from these daggers. 55 seconds. The second hand is making its final turns. The bird stands frozen before you, ready for another leap. Its eyes glow with primal fury. You understand that a human in this fight is just a soft target for evolutionary perfection, honed over millions of years. One well-aimed blow to the groin or stomach, and your chances of surviving until the ambulance arrives are slim to none. The minute is up. You climb out of the enclosure, unable to believe your luck. You survived the fight with the dinosaur, but now you know. Birds can be more terrifying than any fanged predator. Their strikes are precise, silent, and incredibly lethal. But are you ready for the final test, where there are no leaps or screams, only cold calculation and one prick separating you from eternal sleep? Let's move on. Venomous throw. A minute in a room with a king cobra is a staring contest where losing means paralysis. Imagine a completely empty room, 3 by 3 meters, white walls, bright lights, and a complete lack of furniture. In the center, coiled tightly, there it is, the king cobra. This isn't just any snake, it's the largest venomous snake in the world, capable of reaching 5.5 meters in length. When it raises the front third of its body, its head is level with your face. It looks you straight in the eyes. Your last minute has begun, and the price of any mistake is your life, fading away within 15 minutes. The first 10 seconds. The cobra flares its hood. This isn't just a gesture of intimidation, it's a fighting stance. It emits a deep, vibrating hiss, more like a dog's growl. At this moment, your main enemy's movement. King cobras have excellent vision and react to any sudden gesture. If you try to swing or retreat quickly, it will take this as a signal to attack. Your strategy is to turn into a statue, controlling even your facial expressions. 20 seconds. The cobra begins to slowly sway from side to side. This isn't a dance, it's calibrating its sights. It's calculating the distance to your neck or face. Unlike many other snakes, a cobra can make several strikes in a row while moving forward. Its strike is lightning fast, about 0.1 seconds. Before you can even scream, its jaws are clamped down on your skin. And herein lies the main problem. Cobras often chew the bite site to inject as much venom as possible. 30 seconds. You stand there, drenched in cold sweat, blurring your vision. Blinking is also movement. The cobra closes the distance, gliding smoothly across the floor. It can stop and move toward you at the same time. A single king cobra bite contains up to 7 milliliters of neurotoxic venom. This dose is enough to kill an adult elephant in 3 hours or 20 people in 15 minutes. The venom blocks signals from the nerves to the muscles. First, your eyelids will fail, then your tongue will slur, and then your lungs will stop working. 45 seconds. The snake is a meter away. You smell the ozone and sterility of the room, mixed with your own fear. The cobra slams its closed mouth toward you, testing your reaction. If you flinch and fall, you'll expose your most vulnerable areas. In this confined space, you have no antidote, no help, only you and this scaly death. Your heart is pounding so hard that the snake seems to hear it through the vibrations of the floor. 55 seconds. The second hand pauses on the finish line. The cobra slowly lowers its hood, but its eyes never leave yours. It waits. It's a stalemate, where the one with the strongest nerves wins. You understand that man, with all his technology and intellect, is completely defenseless against the drop of clear liquid produced by this creature. You literally feel the fragility of your existence. The minute ends. The door behind you opens silently. You slowly back away, millimeter by millimeter, without breaking eye contact with the snake. You step out, and the door slams shut. You're alive. But that cold, unblinking gaze of golden eyes, will remain in your memory forever. You've been through all 10 circles of this bestial hell and realized, in the natural world, we are only guests, and our survival is not a right, but a daily stroke of luck. That was harsh, wasn't it? Do you think you're ready to face reality now?